Good morning, everyone. Let's give everybody about another 5 seconds to get on the broadcast today. We're on number 25, so 25 strong. I hope you had a great week and that you're applying what you're learning in each lesson. Now, if you're new on this broadcast, the Friday morning workout, we do this every Friday at 9 a.m. And please share the video with friends or people that you might think need to hear this information every week, even if they do or they don't do martial arts. Even if they do any kind of training, or people who are just interested in bettering themselves, mastering themselves, share the video. So, Friday morning workout is a tradition. Me and my dad would always train on Friday morning, and I want to keep this tradition alive and to maintain it as we did for very, very long time. A Friday morning workout consisted of either a grueling workout physically, or a thought, a philosophy, a lesson that would shake up your beliefs for what you thought was possible, or changing the way you think for a particular subject in my life. It was just my time. You know, all the old movies of the old master, the big beard, and the student, and then there would be that alone time, one-on-one. That's what I would get every week. Just that my dad didn't have the big white beard yet. So this is the idea behind this format. If you have questions, you put them in the comment section and I'll answer them on the fly. Or if you watch this video later, then just put a question or a comment and I'll answer it as quickly as possible. So, welcome, number 25. Today's lesson, S-E-E. And do you know what an S-E-E means? If you don't, you're in luck. I'm going to explain to you what an S-E-E is. You need S-E-Es in your life. And you have to be very motivated and you have to be active in finding them. An S-E-E will create a fortress around your personal confidence. That you knowing that you can make it through a difficult time, a challenging time. It gives you confidence knowing that you can make it, that you can do it. As we grow up, we have a whole bunch of S-E-Es. And as we grow up, some of them are negative and some of them are positive. I want you to focus on the positive ones. Some you can control and some you cannot control. I want you to focus on positive S-E-Es first and the ones you can control. You must be seeking them because it adds strength, mental strength, physical strength. Look for experiences that enrich you through the mind, emotionally, physically, your spirit. And S-E-E is a significant emotional event. Now, as I tell that to you, I'm sure you can recall significant emotional events in your life, from when you were small to when you're now at this stage. An event that you still remember 20 years later. And that one might be a bad one, a bad experience. Or it can be a really good one. A really cool trip that you did when you were younger. Or maybe it's negative, it's bad. It's something that happened to you, like in school, let's say. Bullied or any type of situation. But in your life, the more and more you move forward, you control the events in your life. My dad was very strong on do what you fear and watch it disappear. So we need to be strong physically and mentally. We need to be confident that any challenge that life presents on our path, it has to be, it's done. No second guessing, no hesitating, no letting fear paralyze you. You get what I'm saying? Just like in the UFC, let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's do it. No fear. Now you reach that level of fearlessness when you stack up SEEs. And there's an SEE coming tomorrow in Montreal. If you're in the area, it's something that my dad believed in. It's called the Focus on Results Seminar. It has to do with facing fear. And then once you do that seminar, you are armed with just another SEE. When you build those SEEs, you build a fortress, a reference of power. So let's say I get my black belt. That's a very powerful SEE of commitment, follow through, determination, and it's very difficult to get it. So once you acquire it, that's one reference of success that you check off on your imaginary list of that personal power. And then if you do, let's say, a firewalk experience, that's another check mark off of that personal power list. Let's say you do bungee jumping, you do skydiving, anything that makes you afraid. Now become friends with fear and use fear as fire, as power. So I want you to think about how many SEEs have you been actively pursuing in the last 12 months. Are you comfortable, or are you stepping out of your comfort zone and actually challenging yourself and putting yourself out there and facing a fear or something that you have self-doubt about? If you do have self-doubt or fear, then one tool I just mentioned is the arrow breaking. And it's happening tomorrow at 3 p.m. in Montreal. If you're interested, if you're a student of ours or not, anybody is welcome to this seminar. It's very powerful. I assisted my dad since the first seminar up until the last one he did. I was there with him. And I'm going to do this one on my own. Even I try to always challenge myself and have another SEE moment. This is not easy for me, but I want to practice what I preach. And I preach, you preach and you practice. You practice and you preach. I want to make sure that I'm also doing what I'm saying. So I'm putting myself out there, doing this seminar in memory of my dad, but also to keep that legacy going, because it's very powerful. Students don't realize the importance of participating in those special events that you will never ever forget. An SEE can be somebody, you lose somebody in your life, that's a very significant SEE, but you can either focus on the negative or on the positive. You always learn something, and if you're smart and if you're aware, everything that happens to you happens for a reason. And if you can focus on the good or focus on the gold, then you'll be well on your way to growing. It might be the birth of your first child, and that's an SEE. How you met your wife or your partner, a special trip that when you were there, the feeling you had of freedom and watching the sunset, all these things are all SEEs. And you build up that library of power. So, if you want to add one more, because we're always growing, that mountain, that path that we're on, all of us, if you're on this broadcast, you're like me. I'm on the path, and I'm walking that path of self-mastery. But when I look at that mountain, I don't see the top. Big mountain, and there's clouds on top, and I cannot see just how far I have to go. Because I'm always constantly growing and expanding. So I'm just challenging you. If you are like me, I want references of power. Any situation that comes up in my life, with this baggage of references of power, of success, I can make it. I can make it through that obstacle. And the arrow braking does that perfectly. The arrow brake is a metaphor that when you smash that arrow on your throat, directly on your throat, with no pain and no fear, you take any fear, any obstacle that you have, and you smash it and you crush it. It's a very powerful metaphor that when something else comes up in 3 months, in 6 months, in 1 year, you have those SEEs in your memory bank, in your RAS. You can research that. And then when you need to, and when you have to push through that obstacle, you can do it easily. And when you walk out and you make it through that storm in your life, then you're so much taller and bigger because of it. So if you can't make it tomorrow, it's okay. No problem. It's your path. But if you have an inkling to do it, if you have some fear and you saw some videos about the Focus on Results seminar, you should do it. Do what you fear. And what are other areas in your life that you're letting fear stop you or paralyze you from actually going forward? Look at those areas and take action and do something about it. Take some sort of action towards getting that behind you. Now, this is vast. I don't know what you want. I don't know what you're after. But I do know that we all want to lead a significant life. We want love and happiness. And most of the time, life will put some roadblocks in front of us. You need to be armed with the right tools. These broadcasts are one of those tools. So again, if you can make it tomorrow at 3 p.m. in Montreal, message me and I'll get you on the list. Second, I just want to end with flexibility, especially in the wrists and shoulders. For this, we'll use a stick. I covered wrist strength on workout number 2. Many people have carpal tunnel issues and problems because of typing and staying in the same position all the time. So using the stick will help with that. Simply roll the stick. Roll the stick. Both directions. Roll it. Hold the top and spin and stretch. And spin and stretch. One hand at a time. Then do 2 hands. Come inside and stretch. And come out. Turn the stick. Hold the stick behind your elbow and pull and stretch. If you're loose and flexible in grappling, or if you're doing weapon work, flexible joints is very important for power. So see how I'm locking my stick behind my elbow and I'm pulling up. And this resembles a lock you probably know, called the takedown number 3, or the reverse armbar, or the Americana. And I do it on the other side as well, behind my elbow and stretch. So that I'm harder to submit if I have greater range of movement. And the last, chamber to your belly button and chamber under your shoulder and come out. Belly button, chamber, come out. That's your flow from side to side. Right? And build up your strength. Whether you do weapon work or not, if you're just a fighter, if you're just doing Kung Fu, doesn't matter. Use any type of stick and do these exercises to build very strong ligaments and tendons in the wrists. As always a pleasure for me to take some time to share some of the wisdom and knowledge that was passed down to me from my dad and on to you. If you have any questions, please put them in, share the video. Until next time, continue to master yourself. Stay on the path. It's not easy, I know, but come back to the path and walk it proudly and stay focused. I'll see you next week.